Hi everyone, this is Mrinal, and today's topic is how to enhance your knowledge, build excellence, stay relevant in your work and profession, and win the titles that you have been aspiring for. So competence is one thing that comes before anything else. If you want to grow in your career, competence is something that you'll have to constantly build and increase. So before we begin today's conversation, there are two tips that I want to give you upfront. One is daily keep aside time for some learning, daily learn something new. And two, don't be limited in identifying the resources from where you can learn. Explore ways, find out various channels from where you can receive knowledge and information. We'll talk about that in some other session, but for today's session, let's move on. And the key question that I would be answering in today's discussion is people face a lot of trouble in focusing on one thing. Today, I will give you one strategy that will help you stay focused on one thing that you have made your mind, one thing that you have set your mind to learn. Okay, so let's begin. The first point that I want you to understand is how our brain functions. Today's strategy is going to be to actually optimize and best utilize the brain powers, right? So every time we learn something new, right, we are either activating the attention zone or we are activating the attention deficit zone. Now, how do we activate these channels is what the strategy is all about, right? So, when we activate the attention surplus zone, we feel inspired, engaged, we feel very active, and it really doesn't matter how much time we are going to spend on that activity. But if we see something as a task or as a pressure, we are automatically taken into an attention deficit zone, and then we procrastinate, we hesitate, we avoid or we delay that particular task. Isn't it fairly common to say that, oh, I started reading that book but then I felt sleepy and I slept off. I was watching that video, that documentary, and then I don't know what happened. I slept off, right? Now, all of these things are attention deficit activities. Other things are that you're reading something, you are doing something, and suddenly there is a song that comes to your mind, a distraction, and you feel like, oh, let me first listen to that song and then I'll come back and work. And all of these things are fairly common, and we get easily distracted into all of these things. Now, why these things are happening? These things are happening because of one basic step that we are missing when we are embarking on our journey to learning, right? And today we are going to fill that gap and see how it shapes us and shapes our journey of learners. The first thing is that we have to consciously know our top values at a conscious level. And when I'm saying a conscious level, why I'm emphasizing on that is because sometimes when I say to people that, what are your values, they get very inhibited and they feel, oh, I don't know my values. No, it's not like that. You know your values. The only thing is that you have never let them come to your conscious level because these conversations were never had. You were never asked what your values are. So everybody has a set of values, everybody has a set of priorities. The only thing is that you've never answered that question for yourself. So that's why this new question takes you aback and you feel like, oh, do I know that, right? So take time, it's okay, just think through and bring it to your conscious level. Know what your top values are, right? The trick here is that we retain everything that is aligned to our values and priority. I'll tell you how do we align and what to do about that. But first and foremost, we need to understand what that value is, right? Each one of us, like I said, has some values and priorities. If we can identify what our highest values and priorities are, we are going to be fine with doing everything, and trust me, nothing will ever be able to distract you. So let me help you to identify those values, right? The first question that you can ask is that what is that one thing that if goes missing, I would feel blank? Or what are those things, list of things that if go missing, I will feel blank? Whatever that answer is, trace it back to one entity which is going to be your value. I'm going to give you an example of that. For example, my highest value is contribution. Now, how do I know that it is? So, for example, if I don't contribute in my life, if that goes missing, I feel blank. I feel something didn't work today, right? I am super interested always in contributing. And that is something that always inspires me. Another set of questions that I can answer to actually validate if this is a value to me or not is what is it that comes effortlessly to me, right? Now when I say what comes effortlessly to me, I at some point when I left my corporate job and I was finding options that where is it that I want to start up, what is it that I want to do, and time and again I will have this conversation with my husband and he will ask me what is it that you like, you only have to find this answer. And I would say, what do I like? I only like to talk, right? Funny, isn't it? But let me tell you, the thing that was sounding so funny at that point in time actually shaped and helped me start my organization and get me in front of you guys making these YouTube videos today, right? How? The first question is what comes effortlessly to me? The thing that comes effortlessly to me is conversations. What is it that I look forward to in the day? I look forward to making a difference in someone's life. For example, my client sessions now. What can you do endlessly and not feel tired? That's another question that you should ask yourself. Meaningful conversations. So see, the broadness of I can only talk actually shaped into identifying that one point, and it is I like to have meaningful conversations. And what kind of meaningful conversations are these was answered by this question when I asked myself what is it that energizes me. I said, I feel energized when I have meaningful conversations, and that helps someone or even me make a forward movement. Now, do you see how it all comes back together? My value of contribution is the reason why I like to have meaningful conversations. Every time I have meaningful conversations, there is some forward movement, there is a contribution that I am associating in my heart, right? And that gets me going. Now, that's how your values make things effortless to you. So find out what that value is and what your priorities are, right? And they can help you shape a lot of times even your purpose and life missions. Now, once you understand what your top values are at the conscious level, you have to see whatever it is that you are going to do during the day, think of it from a point of a learner's mindset. What do we mean by learner's mindset? Learner's mindset is having a mindset that everything that is coming in front of me is going to give me some learning. You start asking yourself this question: how can this contribute to live my life true to the value that I am saying, right? Once you get that answer, you will start seeing that even a small conversation that you are having with your house help is bringing you a lot of learning. Now, that's about doing it in your day to day activities. That's about activating the mindset. Now, how do we do that consciously and consciously start learning? Explore resources, find out resources that you want to utilize to enhance your knowledge and learning. And then every time you want to sit with that resource, ask yourself, how can this contribute to live my life true to my value? And when you start doing that activity by first answering this, you'll see a lot of difference. You will see that you are more focused and you are not getting distracted by any noise around you. Because now, reading that book, watching that documentary, watching that movie, or making that PowerPoint presentation is connected to something which is already dear to you. For example, some people right now might feel that, oh, but I don't know, you're talking about learner's mindset, but I am doing the job for salary. Okay, fine. It's for financial independence. Now, just think about it. To be able to retain that financial independence, to be able to grow in your career, what it is that you need to do. You have to stay up to date to a knowledge set. You have to stay, you have to build your competence. You have to play that game at a level that your financial independence constantly accelerates. Now, if your answer to that is no, I'm satisfied with my current level, remember inflation happening. Remember that everything is getting costlier. So, you also want to up your financial game to a level that affordability isn't an issue for you, right? Now, once you say that, now connect it back to your value. What is it that you are valuing? Maybe you value your family. Maybe you want quality education for your children. That's what your inspiration is, correct? Now connect it back to your this value and see how that competence building, how that enhancing your skills of preparing a PowerPoint presentation or upping your skills of using an MS Excel file actually connects back to giving you financial freedom and also ensuring that that financial freedom is at par to the increasing expenses that are happening in life. Okay, and what it then goes down and connects to is your real purpose, is your real mission, is your real value. You value your family, you value the education and quality of life your kids are going to get, you value the kind of life you are going to be living, whatever it is that aligns with you. But this is how your priorities and values connect, correct? And this is how your current actions can get connected to your values. So before embarking any learning activity, ask, how can this contribute to live my life true to my value? And you will see you will not get distracted. Before I conclude, let me bring this all together for you to refresh and retain whatever I have shared. So, the first thing, we have to open our brain to reception. And to do that, we have to find out something which is already existing in our system. What is already existing in our system is our values. We have to bring them to the conscious level and tell ourselves that these are my top values, these are my top priorities, and everything I want to do should serve this. Once you know your top values, start receiving everything that you are learning from a point of view of checking that how can this learning help me serve my value, help me take my priority to the next level, help me fulfill my priority. And when you say that to yourself, your reception is going to increase, your focus is going to stay, you are not going to get distracted. And once you do that learning, to retain that learning, what you need to do is just find out one person with whom you can have a conversation and share whatever you have learned. The sooner you do it, the faster. I would say do it the same day and you will retain that learning. So, with today's discussion, I hope you have identified a way forward for you to increase your competence levels and increase your focus in elevating your game of knowledge. Thank you so much. I wish you all the best and do let me know your thoughts and your learnings in your comments below. And like, share the video. And if you've not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe the channel.